factory, Chris.
But we're so good at predicting you. Okay.
Okay.
Let's try that. Okay.
Okay, so let's start. On Sunday, so I would monitor the Aussie MI inflation gauge month-over-month.
Okay.
Then on Monday, we have, let's see, not a lot of news, but monitor the US dollar ISM non-manufacturing PMI. We have the Aussie trade balance major higher time frames. So the trade balance, and then we have a big red one. So the trade balance is just a major higher time frames, yeah. And then a big red one, which is the Aussie cash rate and rate statement.
Okay.
And then monitor the 30-year bond auction.
Okay. And scrolling down, if I can get this thing going.
Yeah.
Where's the scroll button? Ah, it's over here. Okay. Tuesday. Squish this in a little bit.
On Tuesday, we will have, let's see, we will have the pound construction PMI major. Let's see the speech by Lagarde.
Sorry, I've noticed that because Europe and it's coming up to the end of the Brexit deal and people are getting really antsy at the moment, that news coming out on the pound is causing quite a bit of volatility. So again, be careful if there is any news coming out, even if it's not a big one, it can still cause the...
the construction PMI is a big one in UK. It's a major one.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, you say the next one?
Then we have the speech by Lagarde.
Okay, so...
we can perhaps monitor the Aussie annual budget release to see what the governor will take as a decision for the economical recovery. So for Christine Lagarde, we have no. It is this one is later, but there was another one earlier. But a virtual panel discussion, we can forget that. And here, due to speak at a fireside chat at the Wall Street Journal, oh no, let's forget it.
So I wonder if it's a virtual fireside.
Yeah. It's really a waste of time. Then we have the CAD trade balance, major higher time frames, the US dollar trade balance, major higher time frames.
Yep.
Then we have Powell speaking, due to speak about the U.S. economic outlook at the National Association of Business Economic Annual Meeting. Let's forget, nothing new will be said. Then we have the Kiwi GDP price index, major higher time frames. Then we have Harker speaking, due to speak about machine learning at a webinar hosted. Oh, let's forget. The subject is interesting, but nothing to do here. Then we have Kaplan speaking, due to speak about the US and global economy via satellite. Yeah, but nothing new will be said. So that's it for Tuesday. On Wednesday.
Okay, scrolling down. Okay.
On Wednesday, we will have the pound Halifax HPI, which is the housing price index month-over-month, so major.
Okay.
Then monitor the pound 10-year bond auction and the German 10-year bond auction.
Yep.
Then we have again Lagarde speaking. Oh, she talks a lot this week. Too much,
yes,
perhaps. Due to speak at the Paris Europlace Online International Financial Forum. Let's forget. Then we have to monitor the US dollar crude oil inventories. And then we have cash carry speaking, due to speak about racism and the economy at a virtual event. Let's forget.
That's interesting. Yep.
Yeah, the subject may be interesting, but nothing to do with the Forex. So then we have the US dollar 10-year bond auction to monitor.
It's wondering where it's gone. Yep.
Then monitor the US dollar FOMC meeting minutes.
Okay.
Then we have Williams speaking. No, earlier, Chris, earlier.
Okay. So is he worthwhile?
Due to speak about flexible average inflation targeting at online event hosted by the Hoover. No, let's forget. And the first one, due to speak at a webinar hosted by the Economic Club of New York. No, let's forget.
Okay.
So the two speech by Williams can be forgotten.
Sorry, just open up another spreadsheet page. Don't save. And this one. I wonder why I did them both. It's a bit of a rush last night when I was doing this. Okay. And
then if you want to close the description of the talk by Mr. Williams, then we will have the yen current account, major higher time frames.
No consumer credit?
No.
Okay.
And then we will have to monitor the Chinese Caixin Services PMI.
Sure.
And that is for Wednesday. Thursday
is major higher time frames, yes.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, thanks. And scrolling down. Oops.
So Thursday we will have, let's see what Bailey has to say. Due to participate in an online panel discussion, okay, let's forget. Then we will have to monitor for the pound the FPC meeting minutes and the FPC statement.
Yep.
Then we have Jordan from the Swiss National Bank speaking. Due to deliver a speech titled "What Makes Good Money?" Let's forget.
Oh, wrong one.
ECB monetary policy meeting minute account to monitor the ECB monetary policy meeting accounts.
Okay. Yep.
Then we have Macklem speaking from the Bank of Canada. Due to deliver opening remarks at the Global Risk Institute online summit. No, let's forget. I will monitor the US dollar unemployment claims.
Yep.
Then the natural gas storage and the 30-year bond auction to monitor.
Yep.
And that's it for Thursday.
Not the stability?
No.
Okay. And Friday?
And Friday, I hope that I will be at home on Friday.
So do we.
So I hope so. We will see. We have the pound GDP month-over-month major higher time frames.
Yep.
Then we have the CAD employment change and unemployment rate, a big one in red. It's the equivalent of the US dollar non-farm payroll. So major plus higher time frames, yeah. And that's it. And so I will monitor the pound NISR GDP estimate. Yeah, and that's it.
Okay, cool. So, hello, Bruce. Tony, as long as you're not tighter. We're working on it, Tony. And okay, nothing in there. So if you have any questions or you think we made a mistake, let us know. The whole idea of going through this is that when the news comes out, it can cause quite a bit of volatility on that pair if there's a surprise. A surprise is when the number that's expected is 20% variation from what actually was forecast. So up along the top here, we've got the forecast numbers, these ones. So if there's a 20% variation in the numbers, then that's a surprise, and it can cause the markets to jump around. If it's a percentage, then go for 0.2% change variation. That we regard as a surprise as well. And so we don't place any orders 1 hour before the news comes out, and we get out of them within half an hour. Just to reiterate, keep getting these questions coming up. Am I supposed to trade into the news or trade through the news, or what's going on? So no orders 1 hour prior, get out of them within half an hour. Standard students and SAM students could have lots of scale-ins going on, so pull back some of your scale-ins, close them so that you can still stay in the trade, but at least you're protecting your account. It's not the profits that we want you to protect, it's your account money. Okay, that exhortation applies if you're trading on the smaller time frames with anything that's got major there. If you're trading the higher H4 time frames and above, then ignore the majors and just concentrate on these ones. Anything that's got coming up with, there are three major pairs, three major currencies, sorry. They are the US, the yen, and the euro. Any news coming up on those can impact any other pair that you're trading, like even the Aussie Kiwi. So treat anything coming up on the US dollar as impacting any pair. If there's news coming out on one of the smaller pairs, like for instance the CAD, and you're in it, then treat it that way. But if you're in something like the Aussie Kiwi or the Swiss yen or something like that, then you don't need to worry so much about it, because the CAD, the smaller pairs are unlikely to impact the larger pair or any of the other pairs. However, I have seen news come out on the Kiwi which made the pound dollar jump. It was quite a surprise, and so it's still rippled through the markets. So you still got to be careful about these things. The one that sits in the middle is the pound. So depending on what's going on at the time and the news that's coming out, it could impact all pairs or no pairs. So if there's news coming up on the Aussie or a small currency, and you're in something that doesn't involve the Aussie or the other small currencies, then you don't need to worry so much about the news. Just be aware of it. If news comes out on the big three pairs, then treat it as if it doesn't matter what pair you're in, just treat it as if the news is coming out on that pair. And if there's pound coming out, you've got to do a bit more homework and figure out if it's likely to impact you or not, and stay clear of it. If in doubt, stay out, kind of thing. Okay, so top 10 pairs we've got out of the 28 majors that we've got. These are the top 10s, and I'll just get rid of this for the moment. So I showed this okay, we can go through this some other time, but it's pretty easy to get this list formatted for yourself if for some reason we disappear. But the ranges have been reasonably stable at the moment for the last few weeks, around about $1,300, $1,400 being the top of the range, and with a reasonably fat center on them. So what we do is if you're going to be trading, pick out these from the top 10, reasonably good movers at the moment. If they become super volatile, like with the pound coming up to the Brexit end, could get kind of jumpy and cause these ones to drop off, you may want to go for the ones that don't make quite so much money, but smoother movers, which are these ones. So what we're going to do now is, if you've got any questions, is copy these over to here.
Chris, include also the US dollar Swiss.
Oh, okay. I left that one off because I thought it was...
Because this is an important major.
Okay. Oh, it is. So cool. And so what we're going to do... Yep, I better mark that or I'll forget it, Eusebio. Format, paste. Okay. So Eusebio's now going to do his magic trick where he matches up the top 10 pairs with the news coming up for that particular day, so that we get a pair list on a daily basis as opposed to here's 10 pairs to watch for the whole week. So on Sunday we've got nothing, and what we're doing is looking for any of these, any news coming out on a currency prior to 5 p.m. that day. And so there's nothing on the Monday and nothing on the Sunday.
Okay, so the choice will be easy. The first pair will be the pound US dollar or the pound yen.
Okay, let me sort this out. Oh, here we go. Yep,
Pound euro dollar pound. Then the pound Swiss.
Okay.
And then the pound Kiwi or pound Aussie. Same choice as last week.
And the week before. Okay.
Yeah.
So leftovers from Monday. We've got the Aussie.
The Aussie. Okay.
And on Tuesday we have the pound.
The pound, so pound, 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 okay.
CAD.
The CAD, okay.
US.
And the US dollar, okay. US dollar.
Better add the Kiwi as well because this can appear in the US afternoon or US evening.
And the Kiwi, okay. So the first choice will be the pound US dollar or the pound CAD.
Yep.
Then the pound Kiwi or pound Aussie.
Yep.
And then the pound yen or pound Swiss.
Okay. And leftovers from Tuesday are the Kiwi.
The Kiwi, so Kiwi here and here, okay.
And we've got the pound.
The pound, 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 and pound, yeah.
That's it.
And that's it. So the first choice will be the pound Kiwi or pound Aussie.
Okay.
Then the pound US dollar or pound yen.
Yep.
And then the pound Swiss or pound CAD.
Okay, format. Right, leftovers from Wednesday. We've got the yen.
The yen, so yen, okay.
And on Thursday we've got nothing.
Okay, so we will have the pound yen or euro yen.
Oh.
Yeah, pound yen or euro yen.
All right.
Then the pound US dollar or the pound Swiss.
Okay.
Pound US dollar or pound Swiss.
Yep.
And then the pound Kiwi or pound Aussie.
It's obligatory these days. Okay. And on Friday we have leftovers from Thursday. There's nothing. And on Friday we've got the pound.
The pound, 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 and pound.
And the CAD.
And the CAD, so CAD, okay. Okay, so we will have the pound CAD or pound US dollar.
Yep.
Pound yen or pound Swiss.
Where's that one?
Pound yen or pound Swiss, yeah.
Yep.
And then, guess what?
Of course.
Pound Kiwi or pound Aussie, yeah.
Okay, so the idea of these ones is that when you start your day, just look at these ones up here in the top rows, top two rows, and if nothing's working for there, then drop down to the third row. And if nothing there is working, you don't like, you can check out any of these pairs under here as well. See how things are going for you. Okay, what if pound volatility continues almost untradeable next week, except for midterm scalping?
Oh yeah, we can trade. They were tradable last week, even with some volatility and some versatility, because there has been days when there was a lot of rodeo, rock and roll on the pound pairs, due to the declaration by some people of about the Brexit, so from UK or from the European Union. But if you keep yourself informed about all this information, and I have shown to you how to do that, so you can define, you can refine the market sentiment and so trade accordingly. So there is no problem for that.
Yeah, Tony, I agree. I was sitting waiting, and then boom.
Yeah, long bar. You have to wait, and this is patience and discipline, indeed.
Yes.
And don't forget, if one day, one specific day, there is no trade, the next day will be another day. there is no need to have necessary trades every day. So if the conditions are not appropriate, just don't trade.
Yep. Okay. And if Robert, if you're finding that the pound pairs are just way too volatile, then that's why we've included the smoother movers, so that they be less volatile, less money, but easier to trade. That's why we've included them. And so
and until the 15th of October, so for the two next week, this week and half of the next week, we have to expect some volatility, some nervosity in the pound pairs due to the Brexit. So I would not be surprised to see some strange movement. So pay extremely attention, but don't fear. If you don't feel comfortable, if you have some doubts, simply don't trade. Look for something else to trade.
Yeah, don't get fixed. Don't marry yourself to a trade or to a pair or to your the profile that you've set up in your account. I know it takes a lot of work to move from one profile to another, but if you sit there and just try and get blood out of a stone, or try and get money out of a particular profile or set of charts that you like, it's not good. But also, having said that, be consistent. Don't jump around and run from one to another. Just pick a pair. If it's not working out, pick another pair. But if you're sort of monitoring 10 pairs at once, then your attention is just going to be too divided. You'll burn yourself out. You'll miss stuff. At least that's what I found I've done lots and lots of times. I think boys use news as an excuse to bounce the pound up and down.
Yeah, no, not necessarily. No, not necessarily the news. The big boys use the news because they have better information as us, as retail traders, about the news, and so they know better than us what to expect about the news. But it was really the negotiations about the Brexit which have moved the pound up and down, in fact. So this is why you have to keep attention to that.
Okay, so moving on to get this thing going, did have one question from Ryan, so I hope you're watching, Ryan. I said I'd bring it up, but Ryan wanted to know where to put the consolidation zone on a chart. And I'm going to zoom in on this a bit. You don't need to see what's going underneath. And I'll give you the mouse, Eusebio, so you can wave it around and impress us. Where are you?
So, I have the mouse, indeed.
You do now. Yep, go for it.
No, I don't have the mouse, Chris.
Okay, let's try again. Now try. Yep.
Yeah, now I have the mouse. Okay, when you observe the chart, you can see that starting from this bar here, we have the Bollinger Band beginning to contract. Then here, for just one or two bars, we cannot say the Bollinger Band were in a trend mode, and then they continue to globally to contract. Okay, and so the first thought we can have is we have to consider the concession zone mode starting from the point where the Bollinger Band begin to contract. But it is not a good thought. In fact, we have to go more into the details on how the Bollinger Bands themselves are built. Don't forget that most of the technical indicators have a lag. They are lagging the price. And remember how the Bollinger Bands is built. The Bollinger Bands is built around the Mo line, and the Mo line has itself a setting of 21 period. Now, should this Mo line be the simple moving average, which is not exactly the case, it is an exponential moving average, but they are pretty much equivalent with a small setting. The leg of the Mo line is half of the 21 bars, so let's say 10 to 11 bars, okay? So the Mo line is lagging the price by 10 to 11 bars. And the Bollinger Bands are built around the Mo line. So the leg of the Bollinger Bands is also around 10 to 11 bars. And so when you consider this point where the Bollinger Band begin to to contract, you can consider around 10 bars earlier. And so this is the first way, a first technical way to consider where you have to observe the bars in order to define where to place your resistance level. And by the way, there was a better place to place your resistance level. It was here. You see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 candles perfectly aligning with their bodies. And so the correct place was this one. Okay? Now, so knowing how many bars you can go back in the past in order to consider what is the contention zone is one point, but a more clever way to do that is to observe also what the price is doing. And here you can observe that you can, in fact, surround all these bars here by a rectangle, and we can see that all these bars are ranging. In fact, they are all ranging. And so it's all these bars you have to consider, and it is among all these bars that you have to find where to draw your resistance level. And so the best place here was obviously here, with these bodies aligning perfectly. Okay?